Today, on This American Dice presents Ryoko Owari, City of Lies, Episode 52. 2 deaths, but for whom will death stop? And how can one ever atone for betraying something sacred? Find out what happens today on This American Dice.
A large city surrounded by green walls and acres of poppy fields. A group of monks traveled toward the city, exchanging prayers for whatever alms the poor peasants of the countryside can spare. In the noble quarter, we see a beautiful but imposing palace and a foreign-looking minareted estate. In the temple quarter, we see the glistening white temple of the sun goddess with a 60-foot pole topped by a shimmering golden spear, and the temple of the fortune of wealth with its towering statue of the patriot god of the city. Next door, in the merchant quarter, we see busy streets with noisy merchants selling wares from all over Rokugan and beyond. On the other side of the Bay of Drowned Honor, the fisherman's quarter, dirtier with poorer commoners, meaner gangs, and shabby dwellings amid the docks and warehouses. We pass the leather workers' quarter, the home of the Hida, the Untouchables, and the only building of notice there, the city crematorium. Finally, we arrive at Teardrop Island, the license quarter, with its perpetual twilight of hanging lanterns, fine sake and geisha houses. We follow a man in a basket hat as he's beckoned inside by a beautiful geisha. He enters and removes his hat. We see one of the monks from the beginning. Ryoko Owari, City of Lies.
We join Ishi after he's been out with Yugare. This could be that same day. This could be another day.
Mm-hmm.
I think this probably is the next day or another day.
Cool.
So quite possibly like the next morning. From that, you get a lot done in that evening with that investigation, and you maybe stayed up through a large part of the night listening to Yusra's
torture.
Her confessions.
There you go.
Okay. That sounds better, yeah.
But yeah, so what is Ishi's game plan?
Well, I mean, we pretty much kind of solved this whole ninja thing, but I think actually Ishi's game plan is he's going to go talk to Ide Baranada, and he's going to kind of, not a super point of it, but be like, man, this whole Oni thing's really, really shitty. You don't have to have anything to do with that, would you? That kind of thing.
Okay. Sure. So,
that was a bad look you gave me.
Ishi heads to see Ide Baranada.
Maybe it wasn't the right choice.
So Ishi heads to see Ide Baranada. So the Ide residence, we go to the usual place. That is the super foreign. No.
What?
If I die, tell my wife I said hello.
Just tell my ghost family that I love them.
Okay.
You won't even do that.
Maybe if I were leader.
Wow.
I want to be the scout leader. So,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Ishi heads to the Ide residence, which is, of course, the super foreign-looking Agrabah-esque, the minareted mansion, which is. And you head there, and you're let in fairly quickly, and Ide Baranado almost, when you're let in to see him, he seems a little bit surprised that you're coming here to see him. And he's like, "Oh, Ishi-san, wonderful to see you. What a coincidence."
Were you expecting me?
He says, "No, I wasn't. I was, in fact, penning you a message when my servants told me you'd arrive."
How fortuitous. What did you want to speak about?
He says, like, "Oh, come in," and he sits down with you. Maybe brings you into that office kind of that you were in when his son had a birthday party.
Sure.
Where it's much more set up where there's like a desk that a person sits at.
And I see his letter that he's written like 3/4 of. It's like,
yeah, he's only just like begun barely kind of addressing it. And he just says, my niece Utaku Genshi, the one that stole it.
Okay.
Had brought
best friend.
Had brought me some had brought me some news that I found disturbing. She wanted to speak with your comrade about it, but I felt it would be more appropriate if I contacted you, given our friendship.
Mm-hmm.
It says after her sister's death, apparently she claims that your comrade attempted to defile her sister's body.
Who?
Yugare-san.
Oh, Yugare?
He's talking about me behind my back.
Shoot on Yugare Day.
Shit a great day.
So,
alright, moving on. Are you sure it was Yugare? That seems...
I can only tell you that she is sure of it.
Alright.
But I
believe her.
felt I should speak with you about it. Perhaps if you could get him to say something that would, I think the word is assuage her concerns.
I will have to have words with him. This is the first I've heard of Yugare ever doing something like this, so I'll talk to him and see what happened. See if we can fix this issue. I guess in terms of the business I want to take care of, you heard what happened at the Moon Cave, correct?
Oh yes, I've heard that you and your comrades defeated a cult of blasphemers.
Yes, we did. We did kill and or execute all that we found. However, does my character know anything more about what happened to Kune Renyu, or is he still alive somewhere? And my character knows that he's still alive.
Last you knew Kune Renyu. Yeah, I think
Am I
you know.
going to say
that
the late Kune Renyu?
No, I think you know that Kune Renyu is still alive.
Okay, good. That's good. However, Kune Renyu, the renowned witch hunter, was very adamant in the fact that that was not the end of the darkness in the city. That there's still Oni and evil men abound in the city.
Oh, this city has no shortage of evil men.
Specifically of the supernatural variety. I just thought I would come here and warn you to hold your family closer in these coming months as these things come to a head. The magistrates and I are doing our best to end whatever mastermind is behind this.
Oh, certainly. I consider you a friend, Ishi, so I hope that you are. I hope that the fortunes guide you to safety through any darkness that you may encounter.
I don't read this man.
Go for it. Alright, you got an 8? Nope. 9 plus
That's a 12.
12. Pretty good. Beautiful. So you get that's whatever?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's 3 whatevers. Is he behind this whole supernatural shit that's going on at this point?
So he has nothing to do with any Oni.
That's good.
So or any Oni or Mayho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good. I understand. Does he know anybody that could be involved in this?
Did you guys... Was it kind of like... Did it become common knowledge that Soshi Seryoku was a Mayho Tsukai? Was that kind of released out to people? Would folks know that? Or would that have been a secret kept among the magistrates?
Oh, I don't think we told anybody else, did we?
The Scorpions certainly have... It's been asserted to them for sure. But would this be known within the city that this person was accused of that?
I think only Kuni Renyu. I think it's just Kuni Renyu.
Okay. So I think he's said he'll bring up a dark force, but he just means the corruption of the officials and the people that run this city. So when it comes to supernatural darkness, he doesn't He doesn't know.
Does he have Michael's journal? I just gotta know.
Well,
I just need a yes.
Does he have Magda's journal? No.
No,
Does he have Naritoki's journal?
Nice. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Thank you for.
How does that one come out?
I guess they'd probably be like, oh yeah, by the way, anything about that like journal that I asked like a million fucking years ago? Like you didn't find anything about that, did you?
He'll say,
kind of like a really like dismissive way. I have been okay.
Yeah.
I feel like people in the city now have been kind of obsessively questioning about this journal. It's just about every damn person I come across. Let's be honest, guys. Who have I not asked about this journal?
So I think he'll kind of bring this up where he'll say, Ishi, again, I view you as a friend.
Mm-hmm.
There's a plague on this city, and I know you're focused on the inhuman aspect of it. But there's an aspect of inhuman cruelty that has to be dealt with. Would you commit yourself to dealing with that?
I've been doing for 20 episodes, yeah. I feel like I've been doing that for a while. I mean, like, maybe I'm focused on other things, too. I think I'm firmly on the anti-opium plan, so yes, I would commit myself.
He says,
again.
Yeah, and I think he basically says,
I like sold myself this shit, though.
yeah, he says, events have been put into motion to weaken the opium trade here. I don't want to endanger you with too much more, but I can give you evidence from someone not involved, testimony from someone not involved in these most recent events, to possibly bring down the leaders of that inhuman, and he gets like kind of angry again, inhuman cruelty. And he reaches into the equivalent of a desk drawer and presents you with the journal of Kakita Ashidaka Naritoki.
Oh my god.
Former
Printed out
magistrate.
It's printed out and everything. Oh, man.
So he provides you that, but he says,
I'll probably say something like, I have been searching for this journal since the first day I've come to this city in hopes that it would bring down those who perpetrate the worst evil upon it. So, I mean, you know.
Now that you found the journal, you can go become a monk like the other
Yeah, I
magistrates.
can fucking bounce, dog. That's all I was my life goal at this point. I'm done. I'll say that.
Could you make a defy danger roll for me?
Ooh, that's a little bit. I've been looking for this journal. I didn't know why there.
Let me see the journal.
No, it's my journal.
You're gonna see.
We got 4 plus.
God damn it, man.
All
That's
right.
a 5.
5. Ooh.
I
So-
didn't really care about this journal.
So he'll just say,
Journal, I haven't opened it.
ooh. So,
Yeah. It's a sad
oh yeah,
level.
you get an experience point.
It's like a
So-
sad level. It's such a triumphant moment. And there's the defined danger.
Will you?
I know.
What are you gonna do?
Do you intend on letting others know that the unicorn were involved in these attacks?
Oh.
Well, we already know.
Oh man.
Oh, how about this? Do you intend on protecting them, the
The
unicorn, in this
yeah.
capacity?
Oh yeah. He's in the right. Yeah.
All right. And I think he'll kind of look at you and get like very, very somber. And like as he's handing it to you, and he does kind of a thing that's a little bit weird.
Kisses you.
Well, the unicorn do have like slightly different, like
quick
customs for sure. But when he hands it to you, he kind of like does a thing where he kind of like grabs your hand, not in an aggressive way at all, but like a very strange, like this is a society where touching among people isn't like a super big thing.
Yeah.
And he basically says like I understand that sometimes men must do dark things to bring out the light.
Okay, good.
And he says, I have faith in you, Hida Ishi. I know you've seen a lot of dark things, but I know you have the strength to protect what is truly important. I've had to make the same choice myself. And he kind of like lets your hands go and he says,
He wasn't involved in Mehosuke, right?
right,
Just to make sure that he is in fact also in Mehosuke.
No, you got that for sure.
Okay, good.
But we do know he's related to the people who talk to me, right? Or at least I know. I don't think I told them, I guess.
You know that there's a connection there.
He doesn't know though. Like as far as his word now.
As far as Ida...
As far as anybody not, I asked him like, hey, do you know anybody that could be involved in this? He's like, no, dog, I don't know shit. So he might not know. Might be hidden from him.
So, but yeah, he, with that, he kind of like lets you go, and he'll remind you, like, if you could just speak with Yugare.
Yeah, no,
I've kept Genshi from speaking with Taiyo.
Fucking. Yeah, no, we'll forget it. I'll see yeah. Do my best.
All right.
Oh, jeez. Jeez, Andrew, what have you done? Filed her corpse, apparently.
It's like dead body on the ground.
This is the file a little bit.
Heal her up.
So I thought I found out that Ide was involved in that somehow. I think it was in my notes that...
I like how
they didn't have
unicorn or something.
Killed Whisper.
Yeah, I thought the... when I talked to the basket hat lady, I thought it was like, oh, the way is to go through Ide or something, right? I took that to mean that he was working with them. Was that not the case?
So, you know that the actions that the unicorn have taken, based on what Ishi told you, are what you could figure out was that the conspiracy is behind that.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like the best way in to go to Ide or something? I kind of forget.
It all depends on what you wanted to do. We're going to have to listen back to it. Yeah, because there was like...
That was my notes when I forgot my notebook too. So
it was like... It was an issue of like, what's my best way to do this thing? And it's like, well, what are you exactly wanting to do?
Yeah, that's fair. I think I misinterpreted it.
But just as a look behind the curtain, it's what Brandon's saying. But Bernardo doesn't know about that conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue. Is he has his own plan that is his own conspiracy that he doesn't know he's been manipulated into.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's a grieving father who's been manipulated into this plan that he thinks is his own revenge scheme. After Ishi gets back from speaking with Bernardo, and after Ishi gets back from speaking with Bernardo, he runs into Yugare, and you said, you'd want to give him a heads up on what Bernardo told you.
So Bernardo talked to me about apparently Genshi.
And where were you guys having the conversation?
I don't know, like where does Yugare even hang out at this point?
Well, I mean, each of you has like a suite basically that you live in.
No, I know that, but like outside. You had like a spot at one point, but not really.
Well, I used to like to wander the city and like meditate in different places. That's probably that like zone of influence has probably become much smaller now.
You think so, yeah. So yeah, probably just like, I guess the
Even the
garden or
tree is
something.
like a spooky place
Even the
now.
trees. Oh yeah, you did have the whole. So I guess just your fucking.
Yeah. Maybe like I found a spot on the roof or something.
Yeah, you
I
have
don't
to
know if
find.
the roofs are all.
I don't know, but you probably found. You should have to find
You can
something.
get up there. It's just a pain in the ass, probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll just go on your.
It's even more of a
place.
pain for Ishi, who weighs 500
a
pounds.
million fucking tons, yeah. So, yeah, I guess we're doing it like a secluded spot on the roof of the magistrate residence. It's kind of like, there's like a nice...
Or maybe there's a balcony that Ishi can be on while Yugare is like on the roof.
No way, but alright. Yeah, something like that. Somewhere secluded and peaceful in this tumultuous city.
Okay. So maybe Yugare is up on the roof, and there's
Just a fucking window nearby.
there is like a ladder, and you can maybe stand on that ladder and talk to him.
Something like that.
Kind of a little bit of an awkward perch, but maybe it kind of reflects the awkwardness of this conversation.
Just a bit. Yugare, I've been looking for you. I just came back from the Baronata residence.
How are they holding up?
Hida seems fine. He actually wanted to talk to me about Geisha, Otaku Geisha.
Utaku Genshi.
Man, I was so close. Otaku Genshi. Geisha Genshi. It's very close. He told me she had a complaint about a magistrate.
Complaint?
Apparently she's accused you of defiling her sister's corpse.
Oh. With everything going on that slipped my mind, I tried to comfort her sister as she died, since no one else did. And then her sister was possessed by a dark force and attacked me. I only defended myself. I'm sure her sister must have seen it. I don't know why she would accuse me of something like that.
She sounds deeply angry. And we have to do something to assuage her fears and to calm her down. I could go with you if you'd prefer, but Hida and I, it would be wonderful if you could, I don't know, talk to her, explain what's going on in the city and
she must
what
not
happened.
have seen
She
what
must
happened.
not have understood, but I could go with you if you'd like, or it's fine if you do it on your own. You shouldn't come to harm the Baronata residents.
I will go see them.
All right.
Thank you. Honestly, I shouldn't have forgotten so quickly, but I thought nothing of it. Thought her sister must have seen and attributed it to the dark forces just as I did, but apparently not.
All right. Well, thank you for taking care of this. And then at some point we'll have to have a meeting. I've learned much about Naratokai's death, and we have to discuss it with the rest of the magistrates. But that can wait for another time.
That sounds important.
We have to just get everybody together at some point.
Very good. See ya.
See you, toodaloo. That's the shit ended, right? Toodaloo. Toodaloo.
So, let me know if this is not... Basically what I want to do is go to where that happened.
Okay.
And use my past seeing spirit powers to just watch myself in that situation. Like,
see how that
did I misunderstand something? Was her sister not looking to see? Like...
Okay.
That's smart. It's way more prep than I would have put into it.
I can do the roll for the move. Basically, I have to roll to see what form of watching I get. But I kind of imagined it just happens, and then Yugare's like, holy crap. Because the real explanation, right, is that it was Yugare being possessed, not
the corpse.
the dying body.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Which? Where I roll?
You just said, yeah, you can make that roll. That's fine.
All right.
It was the question, make the roll or just do it? and just have the scene.
I'd rather you make the roll because we can still get that information out of it, or something crazy could happen. So hold on, we'll start recording again.
You rolled too early. Did you roll well?
All right, so Yugare gets this information. Ishi heads off of this ladder.
I'm going to do my own thing. Yugare says he's going to take care of it. I trust him, and from what it sounds like, it's just a huge misunderstanding, so it's not going to be anything.
So, what does Yugare want to do with that information that he's been accused of?
Well, I want to reconcile it. I want to explain, I got attacked by this dark spirit possessing your sister, but just to make sure I've got all the facts straight, I'm going to go watch myself through a spirit vision that will hopefully be granted to me when I return to the place where it all happened.
Sure.
So Yugare's going to go back there and see what the spirits will show him.
All right. So it's a sake house in the Fields of Gold neighborhood in the Merchant Court.
Sure.
Or it's outside of the sake house.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever named it.
The sake house?
The sake
It's
house.
not important at this point, but we see Yugare there. It's nighttime at this point. There's people in the sake house for sure, but it's maybe quieter than this time should be.
All right. Well, I'm going to seek the kami's wisdom, not to be confused with the wisdom of the kami.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank
We
you.
got a 6 plus.
That's
7 plus
7 plus, sorry.
3 is 10,
Not bad.
which means I choose one. So I will just choose the kami of fire to let me clearly see the actions of anyone who was here recently. That's what it technically says. But I'm hoping to see the scene where...
Hoping to fudge it a little bit and make
Yeah.
the scene we want to see.
Yeah, because recently would be like several days ago.
How long has it been?
Because remember we had that downtime.
Should be out of downtime.
So plus it was at the beginning of like the day before he was like a lot of stuff went down.
That's true.
But yeah, I think we'll roll with it since you got a 10. Yeah, so since you got such a good roll, this should be tough, but I think these flames are like particularly weak. I might ask you some kind of weird question about this to kind of push this fudgery. But the flames are like particularly weak, but you can barely make out through this. And when you do this, do you like look through a fire and see this image in like a flame, or do spirits of fire kind of like illuminate in this area? Like, do they like?
Yeah, the way I imagined it is it's dark, right? It's night. Maybe there's somebody outside. There's people walking by.
Yeah, there's some lights out and about because like it's at the sake house, so there's like lights coming from it, but it's dark enough. Yeah.
He said it's kind of dim, the vision is, but what I imagine is like a big fire encompassing like the whole scene is like
Everything that's going on.
right. So maybe it's a faint fire, but like the big shape of the fire is what reveals the scene, and it's even brighter maybe because it's daylight when that was happening. Whereas like that's in stark contrast to like the surrounding night time.
So maybe you wouldn't have been able to see this in the middle of the day, but because you came here at night, the lights are bright enough
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
that you can see so far in the past.
And I think what Yugare was looking for was, is the sister watching? She must have missed Yugare being attacked by the corpse.
So you're going to watch that.
But then he sees...
Yeah, so you see Genshi, the living sister, watching, and you see like staring down at her sister who's died. Bayushi Saigo just killed her, and you see this kind of long pause and like the dimly burning flames, and then you see yourself come up to this corpse and like pick it up, and from what you see, the corpse doesn't move at all. And then Yugare starts, like, shaking it, basically. and eventually Genshi throws Yugare off of the body.
I think as Yugare in the vision gets thrown, like the Yugare now just like falls over in the same direction and is like struck by the realization that these instances when he thought other people were being possessed, it was actually him.
Right, and I think we see a flashback of like the servant that you like zapped with fire. And were there any other instances? Or that's the main one?
I think that's the main one.
What about Aji?
Yeah, what about Aji?
No, because that's with Aji hearing
Aji was
the other
actually
stuff.
possessed.
But yeah, maybe you wonder what happened with Aji.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
definitely a thought that could enter.
Yeah.
this isn't other people being corrupted. This is me. And I've been blaming it on everyone else. So now Yugare is like super sorry.
Now you're sorry.
So I don't know, like, what is the most like sincere expression of apology that you can do?
In this society?
You could,
In this society?
in this society, you could just, you could kill yourself.
Maybe not that.
Yeah, take it down a notch below that.
One apology.
You could retire.
Wow.
What's it, a notch below that?
Another notch. Shit.
Okay.
These
I
are
don't feel
pretty
like
hard
Yugare
notches.
thinks he can retire. It feels like it's his responsibility to do the
Well,
job
that's
to
good.
the end. Because he wanted to retire at the beginning, but he felt like yes.
Give him a
Has
little
to do it.
coupon for like, I owe you one death as soon as I'm done my duty.
Yep.
I will kill myself.
I will fucking kill myself at your feet as soon as I'm done.
Forget
You
that
could,
promise.
I mean, the thing is to give them to give them a boon, to basically say like, listen, I've wronged you in some way, and I swear I'll make it better.
Yeah, I think that's what I want to do, is go to their house and like just like
And do you do that this night?
yeah, like right away. I'm gonna go there, and I imagine, I don't know if this is like not fitting the setting or whatever, but like just like bowing prostrate in front of their house, and when the servants are like, "What are you doing?" Be like, "Look, please tell them, like Yugare, like tell them I'm here and I'm super sorry, and I beg for their permission for me to like come inside to talk to them."
I think that you... Awesome. Okay. So, again, it's still nighttime, which is like a weird thing. You go and you show up, and you talk to these servants, and some of the servants run back in, and there's already kind of like a hubbub when you come and do this. And I think eventually Genshi and like those retainers that were there at that sake house come out, and they're kind of like, they look like they're ready for a fight. And
So
you...
it's just them coming out.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, it's like Genshi and some retainers, and they're all armed. And yeah, like I said, they look like they're ready for a fight.
Is that this?
Genshi is the living sister who
That's
threw you off of of her dead sister.
So I'm just,
So I would say,
we're real bad with names here if we can't tell.
yeah. I would say, may I stand?
And I think she'll say like, if I cut you down, I don't want to cut you down like a dog kneeling.
All right, so I'll stand.
Alright, guess I'll stand. Fuck it.
What I'm hearing is yes. I don't know. I feel like he's had an entire like walk to figure out what he would say here, but
I've had like 3 seconds.
my responsibilities as a magistrate and the dark spirits that have pervaded the city have clouded me from seeing the wrong I did to you and your sister like a few nights ago. A dark vision made me think she was attacking me, and in my clouded judgment. I thought you saw the same thing. I now realize it was my own weakness that allowed me to be influenced in this way. And I offer my sincerest apology for what I've done to you. And I promise to make it right in whatever way you see fit.
This sounds like a great manipulate roll.
All right.
Sounds like a perfect manipulate roll.
That's about.
I mean, I don't know how to say whatever way you see fit, short of like killing myself and things like that. But basically that. All right, this is an elegant. Is that what we're looking at?
Mm-hmm. You get a 4.
Plus 1 is a 5.
Nice.
Goddamn. It's been a day for bad rolls. Get that experience.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you forget.
Yugare also dies.
Oh.
Guess we're gonna get to our fucking final episode like this, guys. All gonna die.
I think she'll just say this. Should a man infected by dark visions be a hand of the Emperor?
Not a bad point.
And then I think before whatever she then interrupts you before whatever you say, and says, if you want to do something in this city, if you want to do something for me, and she like points to the palace, like the Shosura Palace, and just says, "That's where you'll find where you'll find your criminals. If you want to do something about it, get off your knees and do something about it." I know you're standing up, but she still says that.
Yeah.
And she'll say, "Otherwise, the next time I see you, you better bring your second." And I think she turns around and goes inside, and the other guys like go inside with her, and we just see like the doors close.
I will bow to like the empty yard and leave.
The next day, after you've had Yusra interrogated, you got her confession and that stuff, the next day, maybe the next morning, maybe like super early the next morning, so you already had like a ton of sleep or opportunity to sleep. There was someone came to see you, and it's one of the deputies that Ishi had brought into the city, like when he first arrived.
Goro?
Sure, it's Goro.
Yeah.
And Goro's there, and he says he wanted to speak to like you two.
All right.
Okay.
And basically all he has to say is Kuni Renyu wants to talk to you.
Okay. I'll go.
Are you going back to him, Goro?
He says, "I'll take you there, or I can just tell you where it is. Either one's fine. I mean, I'm going back there."
Take us there.
All right. So I think that they didn't move him out of the city. Did they move him out of the city? No, they brought him back to that. They brought him back to that kind of like little barracks that he and the deputies had been staying in outside. But there's a few more people there. There's essentially someone who's acting as a nurse who's there. And you see Kuni Renyu, who's kind of like laid up in bed. He's covered in bandages. He's missing an arm. And this is, you may have heard about Kuni Renyu losing his arm, Yugare, but you definitely weren't there when that occurred.
Yeah.
Aji was there, but was in the mists of leaving as that happened. But yeah, Kuni Renyu is like ghostly pale. He looks really bad. I think this is the first time you haven't seen him with the makeup that he usually wears. a lot of the witch hunters will paint like a red circle on their forehead that he had, but it was always like kind of halfway done. It always looked like he did it several days ago. But yeah, so he looks like ghastly pale. His hair that's like white and like stringy is like kind of unkempt around him as he's kind of lying in. It's not a hospital bed, but it's like a makeshift kind of thing where he has to be up. So he's maybe like against a wall and has like some cushions kind of behind him. The place is pretty dirty. Aji, I think this is the first time you've seen this place, and we've discussed how gross it is, where it looks really barren and there's like brambles on the outside of the place. When you walk by, there's a fire where there were like bones in it, like animal bones. There is what is like a skin drying rack for leather, but it's like covered in like it's frozen, but it's got like, you can clearly see blood on it from these animals. But yeah, when you go in there, I think Goro stays in there with you guys, and there's a nurse. And Kuni Renyu, yeah, he looks like he's knocking on death's door.
I think I will rush over to him and apologize. Like, I'm sorry that this was allowed to happen to you. Like, and I should have come sooner. Maybe I can get the spirits to heal you and
Give you a hand.
Yeah, give you a hand.
You can talk.
So, are you asking if he can talk?
Yeah.
Did you ask him?
No.
Okay. But you say that?
Yeah, I think Yugare kind of goes on maybe too long. Like he just feels really sorry.
I think he'll turn to you and say, "You weren't there. I understand that.
It was my kids. I had to get them to safety. It was so chaotic and dangerous. I knew something bad could happen, but..."
I'll say, "You want to make it up to me?" And he coughs. I think he coughs up some blood. And he says, "If you want to make this up to me, the two of you." And he kind of looks over. He eyes Aji. For that mess. Coughs for a little while longer. He says, "If you want to make it up to me." The reason I came here was because these men suspected something with Ishi. They suspected something was wrong.
From the start?
Suspected what was wrong?
His behavior. There was something off about it. Ishi had asked me to come here. The message got delayed. When it did arrive, it arrived at the same time with their message. I came here to look into the Oni that you saw in that cave with Ishi. But I came here to look over Ishi as well. Goes into a coughing fit for a little while longer. And I think it's long enough where if you guys want to have a conversation briefly, you can. So if Aji and Yugare want to do that, he's coughing up a storm.
There's a lot of coughing.
Yeah,
The deputy's in the corner.
Jesus.
He's covering his mouth.
After hearing Renyu, I'll tell Yugare about what I noticed back in the cave. About how Ishi shouldn't have been able to kill that demon.
Everyone's turning against each other.
Why not?
Okay.
It's just... It's unnatural. I tell them it's unnatural. And that's why it relates to what Kuni Renyu is saying.
Maybe he had Kami's blessing.
You have to make the logical connection here. Because Kuni Renyu also said it.
Do you think it has something to do with that night when he killed the servant?
Renyu's coughing fit stops, and he'll say, the creature that we defeated at near the bay creature in the lunar cave. They were small. They weren't the thing that you faced there first. Yes, but there are stories, he says, the great demons being summoned by men of great strength. Ishi is a man of great strength, certainly.
It's a compliment.
It says like not.
There have been disappearances all throughout the countryside.
Oh no, the children.
So
They're eating.
You're a werewolf.
yeah,
Okay, guys. I'm pretty sure I'm just seeing through Oninuishi's eyes, and he's eating these children. I'm just putting that out there.
So is that an excuse or
No, I'm
that
just saying I am not consuming children. My demon is
just a
consuming
demon that you
children.
allowed
This
in?
Fight Club?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you.
Yeah.
Why do you keep skipping breakfast?
So full, guys.
so
This is new fasting.
yeah. So he describes children have been missing throughout the countryside.
Wow, this is concerning.
He'll say, I thought I could suss him out. I thought I could suss out what was going on more quickly. But with so many threats to the area, I thought it was better to keep him as an ally for them for as long as I could. Now, and he coughs for a while longer. And he says, I don't know how much longer I can be an ally to anyone.
Allying with your own threats against you. That does seem to be a way of this city.
And he coughs. And he says, maybe it got to me too. He says, I wanted to get your children back. As badly as I wanted to save them, I wanted to see if it really was Ishi who was responsible for it. He says, there are ways to tell. You're a man who can speak with the spirits, Yugare. There are even more ways for you. I think he'll cough again. Do you guys have any questions for this dude? Because I don't know how much longer of an opportunity you'll have to ask him.
Yes, is Yugare going to heal this man or attempt
So that's a question for you, Gray. More so than right?
Yeah, definitely before I leave, I want to try to,
Ease his pain.
whatever the GM deems appropriately for trying to heal this guy.
So, honestly, I think narratively this dude's just gonna die. I think it's more interesting if he goes away, actually. Because, this character's cool, but I think his, thing was to come in, be this rough, spooky, mysterious dude, stir up more issues, and then... But he can't, I don't want him to solve the problem at all.
Maybe if Yugare tries to start healing, he's just like, no, I don't need that anymore.
Ooh.
I'm way past that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so, you maybe start to say a prayer over him, and he'll say, save your strength. There's a lot more fight, and it coughs for a while longer. There's a lot more fight that you'll need it for.
question. If it comes down to this.
Is it a question for Renu?
Yes.
Okay.
If it comes down to this, what is Ishi's weakness?
This man knows?
You mean, what's his weakness to expel the dark forces from him?
It's too late for that.
See how fucking fast Aji turns some people? You'll be next. Watch yourself, you're great. You'll be next. And he'll be like, this man doesn't even do opium, what the fuck? And he'll turn on you.
He'll say,
it could be too late for that.
yeah. I think Renu kind of coughs some more and he looks over at Goro. And Goro
That jerk has 4 hands.
Yeah.
Really rubbing it
The
in.
other deputy, Shang Tsung, is here.
But you can't tell because he's shaped.
Yeah, hey, what's brand new? Yeah, Goro kind of. I think he hands you a small dagger made of jade, Aji. Like a tento made of jade.
Yugare tries to
It's a Tento.
take it. Like, I'm not gonna try to take it, but like as he hands it, I'm gonna like pause that exchange by putting my hand on it. Like, it won't come to that. We won't need this.
Then let us hope that.
And then let you take it. But
Let's still take.
And I think Kuni Renyu has this. He almost has this like. We don't see his flashback, but we could tell maybe he's having a flashback, like as he's just sitting there dying. And he just says like, and he says, "Good men walk out into the darkness. They never want to be consumed by it. But when your brother's gaze turns to it too deeply." And I think like a tear rolls out of his like one good eye. And he just says something like, "What else are you to do?" And then he's just silent. You guys can tell he's definitely passed away.
alright. We'll do a little funeral for that guy.
Yeah. So is that a scene we cut away on of like you guys doing that funeral where you like just cremate his body?
Yeah.
Like outside, or do you bring it to the crematorium?
I think his place. He likes
Okay.
his place. And we did another funeral here.
We did 2 different funerals for Oni, which you wouldn't bring to the crematorium because remember when they said they burned the arm in the crematorium, it made the Eda sick?
Right. Well, we burned it out by like his place.
Well, that was the new one.
I think
We burned it out in the countryside.
just out in the countryside. It wasn't It wasn't like, bring the body over to my place, let's have a barbecue. It was more just to like get it out of the city in case it hurts anybody.
It's the custom for a samurai.
I guess I just imagine it being like, not like in his house, but like near it.
So
But
just,
either way, whatever.
yeah, so just image-wise, like in regard to the imagery of this, do we see this weird barracks and have the pie, like a funeral pyre there? Do you just burn the barracks down? That's another option. Or do we see you guys bringing the body to the leatherworkers' quarter to the crematorium?
I imagine taking it out to his house outside town and burning him there.
I think that's where you are right now.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. Just
Okay.
burn him here.
On a pyre?
Yeah.
Okay. So the last thing we see is we see the long shot of that Kuni Renyu is definitely dead, and then we have a shot because it's dramatic of the sun. Either the sun may be coming up, either coming up or going down, or okay. So that happens like at night.
Sun's rising over I knew Ryoko Owari.
Okay, so the sun's rising, and we see this like pyre burning with you guys and these deputies standing there.
I'm trying to get back to a regular sleep
I hear you,
schedule.
but I think it's nice and dramatic because things have changed so much.
So we see that same rickshaw that Taiyo was in. At first, we see kind of from afar a blanket covering what looks like someone kind of wrapped in a blanket on this cold night. Their hat covered in like a big kind of like Jingasa-esque hat. Sitting next to another person, kind of squeezed in, almost like husband and wife, as this person, the rickshaw driver, is bringing them across the bridge of...
Drowned lovers?
I think it's called Drowned Lovers or Drunken Lovers.
I think so.
Drowned Lovers, because that's the Moment's Edge bridge. So
This is the Drunken Lovers.
Drunken Lovers. All right.
I remember reading this one.
Then we see we see that this like person in the blanket is kind of placed down, and we see they're kind of put down, brought into more of an alley in the fisherman's quarter and kind of placed down, where then 2 or 3 other people kind of grab this person, and we can very clearly see as the blanket falls off that it's Taiyo. That Taiyo is
already dead.
I think is at least like unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Either unconscious or dead, and you can decide based on how this goes. And I think they're kind of bundled up into something, and it kind of looks like almost like a large. They're kind of put into almost like a wheelbarrow, and
we call those reverse rickshaws,
right? And so then, like a gross brown sack is placed on top of the Taiyo's body, Taiyo's form, and like a sheet is covered over with it, like a dirty, like burlap sheet. And we see just kind of the body itself, and we see the little gate, not the little gate, what is it called? The wretched gate. And we see those same Thunder Guard that you guys had encountered in game, what was it, 4 or 5, that are there and are like, oh, yeah, go ahead. And we see this cart be brought into the leatherworker quarter and brought to the crematorium. And there these 2 people go in, and you see an old man at the crematorium, and he's an old man who's got like snaggly teeth and has a raspy old voice, and he's like, everybody's gone, go in. And these 2 or 3 people lift the body basically to put this body in in the furnace. And do you think Taiyo is still alive for this part of things, or do you think Taiyo's been killed?
That's more horrific.
Yeah.
That.
So I think I'm not exactly sure 100% how this like furnace that they use in this crematorium works, but I think Taiyo's form is like placed in this furnace, and I think these people who've done this don't necessarily know what they're doing in regard to attacking a person physically per se, and maybe thought Taiyo was dead. Mm-hmm. And so Taiyo's been placed in this furnace, and when they start this up, Taiyo maybe wakes up, and I think necessarily can't get out of here, but can at least see like who is doing this, and can see this old man kind of like look back around, and he looks shocked, and there's a person in one of these like hats that kind of covers their face, and he kind of pulls his hat off when he sees that the old man is shocked and turns around, and it's definitely Eyebrows. Mm-hmm. And
the guy with the hat?
What?
The person like responsible for this.
Like Eyebrows, Ample, and it's probably not Ample, but fuck.
So yeah, and I think what do we see with Taiyo at the end there?
Oh God.
Yeah, and it's just he's just like trapped in there.
I think he's trapped, or he's either like physically wounded in some way where he can't get out of the thing. Mm-hmm. And I think these people thought they had killed you.
Yeah, I think he just futilely tries to get out of there, just burn alive. Just yells out, Hikari. Is the last thing.
Jesus.
And yeah, I think there's like a long shot of this, and then I think Eyebrows turns and says, like, Raspy, I didn't think that I thought he was already dead. And I think Raspy like really like shakes his head, like he's shaken up by all this, and he's like, I don't like that we did this any more than when we had to do it to Naratoke. But if they're going to keep bringing that into the city, if there are people who are going to keep getting addicted to it, there's only so much that we can take. And I think Eyebrows just kind of like looks at the now burning body of Taiyo, now that Taiyo's dead, and he just keeps hearing Taiyo's voice screaming out Hikari.
Shit, son. By the way, thank God they said that. Because the end of this journal, can I say if we've gone this journal, it's just more questions. It's a total shit show.
Well, the one thing is, you guys, with the journal, you already had that information, but because the cartels had told Taiyo that information,
but I mean, like, literally, the last thing in the journal is Naruto's like, fuck the cartels, and he was like, he wanted to get the Emerald Legion to help him chase down and kill Fate. And then the cartels were like, no, we're not going to let you do it. It's like, they're like, it's probably going to like injure our business. And he was like, what the fuck? I'm just trying to protect the city. And so like the last paragraph is him being like, fuck the cartels, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm going to go against them. And if I had read that shit months ago, I'd have been like, I don't even know who's the fucking bad guy anymore.
Well, I mean, to a certain degree, that makes it seem as though reading that, Ishi might think the cartels did this because I know that was the concern.
Honestly, I would think that.
He might still think it. It's up to you on that.
City of Lies is Toan as Kakita Aji, Branden as Hida Ishi, David as Bayushi Taiyo, Andrew as Agasha Yugare, and Austin as your Game Master. The theme music for City of Lies is Mission of Danger by Lobo Loco. Additional music for this episode includes Quaalude by Cowpay. Please stay tuned for an explanation of how we arrived at how Taiyo's death was going to work. This American Dice Ryoko Owari City of Lies uses the City of Lies box set by Greg Stolz, published by Alderac Entertainment Group. The mechanics used is a modified PBTA system by Brendan Taylor of Galileo Games. Join us next time for more This American Dice. Hey everybody, if you could please rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher, it would really help This American Dice. And for every 5-star review we receive, we'll read it on air. Join us next week for another episode of This American Dice.
I'm going to ask you guys some advice on. I'm just going to get this recorded. But we could switch this out. Okay, so I said that when Taiyo next failed a roll, he was going to get attacked. I didn't know exactly how that attack was going to go. I think that this person, like the attackers, put like a hood over his head. This attack is extremely serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like the degree of seriousness of this, I cannot express more. Mm-hmm. Of like, oh, should you just be dead now, kind of a thing. Especially since I was like, oh, do a defy danger roll just to see if we can kind of stumble out of this in some way or another. Mm-hmm. This is definitely something that was planned, something that was coordinated, and something you did not see coming, even though you've been on guard now for conspiracies.
Mm-hmm. Narutoki style.
Here is the other thing. It is by the people who killed Narutoki.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do we handle this? Because narratively, I think in a Game of Thrones show, you would die. Mm-hmm. And then we'd have to figure something out, and we'd have another scene where we figured out who did this somehow.
I want to make a roll.
But what do we think should go on with this stuff?
Just do roll, 50-50.
No, I got a real roll here for a move.
Talking about
One of the options is you happen to be right where you needed to be.
isn't that a thing you have to actively do?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So that's why I'm bringing this out to you guys. What do you think narratively is the best thing to do to have this be like true to the fiction, as well as be true to the fiction, be interesting to hear, and not and like interesting to you guys as well, including you, because it might be interesting to be like, oh, your character did just fucking get killed, but it might also be lame.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do, especially since we only have a few possible sessions.
And that's another thing that we have to ask.
Yeah.
Is this our second to last session?
Also, I will say that when you ask, like, oh, what if we die? Have a second character in mind, I'd be like, oh, Kuni Renyo. That's definitely the person I would be, so.
Well, killed my second character first, now me. What the fuck?
Second one, same as the first.
Damn, that's what it could become.
So yeah.
I don't know. It's weird that the people that would have killed Narutoka would be like, nah, let's not kill this magistrate. Let's just leave that one line. It's good.
I mean, would it be...
Does it have to be mutually, like, exclusive? Can, like, his kidnapping and death be intertwined with, like, the last scenes?
They
Real poorly.
yeah, so there is an assassination attempt going on right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Being assassinated.
I thought you'd be, like, tortured and then...
No, I don't think what's going to give a shit.
I mean, I guess it could be, like Yugare was saying, like, just without the roll, just one of you guys sees this happening and then Taiyo's, like, maimed or something. Or
Ooh.
I wouldn't mind losing a limb or something.
I feel like Taiyo would never leave the house again.
Yeah, it's true.
So,
All right. I like the idea of using the roll because that's what the move is for, is to just be in the right place at the right time. Like, it's a good question of whether it could be used, like, to jump into a scene as opposed to being in a scene already.
But narratively, you just can't be like...
yeah, you're way out in the middle of nowhere. Like, you were out of town talking to Finneran, when this man's...
And complaining about your sleep schedule.
Yeah, that was at night.
Well, but this is all at night, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this, funeral starts, the pyre's going all night, and then we realize Yugare wandered off.
Yeah, I mean,
during it.
Also, now to contradict myself, like, you do have a point. Like, now Taiyo would probably definitely never leave.
Yeah.
Like, this character might be dead end
Even
anyway.
if you didn't die, I don't think Taiyo was already like, oh yeah, no, leaving the house is a bad idea. He left the house once.
Yeah, the one time.
And got fucking captured to be assassinated. Even if he survived, I don't think, like, the Taiyo that people have known is going to be the same Taiyo. Do you guys know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, which is a little weird. I just don't know.
I don't know what, like, do you guys think, is there an NPC that you would promote to main cast at this point?
So what if you become an NPC? Or like, you just don't leave your house, but we come and visit you just to check up, and like we'll ask you questions, and you'll just tell us what you.
It's just
You're
letters.
just still available to tell us
You just
information.
do letters the whole rest of your life. You're just a letters boy.
Well, let's list some of the NPCs in. Well, yeah, I don't know how comfortable you feel with us doing that. I don't want to necessarily be like, let's list these things off. If you're like, that's not what I'd want to do.
Here's the thing, that if you could easily make a case that Taiyo will be maimed, not killed, because I think if the assassins kind of know, oh hey, like, this dude has been really weird and like recluse. I don't know how public it is that Taiyo has been not wanting to leave his house and being extra weird and extra scared. It's been like 3 days or something. 3 or 4 days that he's not been seen. They'd be like, oh yeah, we don't even have to like kill him to make him not a problem anymore. I don't know. That's just a way of me saying, yeah, we could totally like be like, oh yeah, this is the reason why they wouldn't even bother killing him. I don't know. But I don't know.
I'm also kind of thinking, like, that this character might be at a dead end anyway. Like, even then, right?
Yeah. But still, we have to probably find something new for you to do.
So, what I'm saying is I'm open to killing Taiyo or NPCing him. I don't know who else we would
We would add.
Or I'll just see you guys in a few weeks.
No, you can't do that. Not at this point. Not at this point. We haven't.
Do you want me to list off characters?
We haven't heard that.
Sure. So, well, Ample, Shrimp, Saigo.
Bayushi Saigo.
Asako Anjo might end up showing back up in the city. He's the guy who's like the Emerald Champions, like regional manager.
He's the guy who was like, oh yeah, by the way, here's the people that are doing, like, here's all my friends and they're doing weird shit, sir. And he was kind of slated to show up soon.
Utaku Genshi is another option. Jocho. But
because if we're only on for a couple more episodes, it kind of gives you
a lot more range to do.
Gives you a lot more range to explore a character, even if that character doesn't have a huge arc to explore.
But again, it's up to you.
So she's Saryoku.
Oh yeah, just
be interesting.
Basket hat.
Yeah,
basket hat person. I mean, yeah, that might be make the most sense to be the magistrate guy, right? Because he could come in and then it would also be a magistrate. Because I feel the other ones
are not magistrates.
Yeah, would be even.
He would definitely become in and be a magistrate. And like from what I told him, shit was kind of going bad here.
Plus, you get to be the captain.
Yes.
What have I done?
That was just a long con.
Long con. Kill my character, become the captain. Oh, man.
I don't know. Do you think that's a good idea, everybody?
Yeah, I think it's fine for you to become that guy. If we're going to kill Taiyo, because I don't know what Taiyo, unless Taiyo's saved, I don't think. Even if Taiyo is saved.
Yeah.
Taiyo's kind of fucked.
I was kind of playing that up, and I was thinking, like, oh, yeah, for a session or two until... Like, my real plan was to have Yugare come over and then, like, oh, make sure the kami are gone, because I have secrets to tell you. But, at this point, it's like, I don't think I can talk to anyone again if Taiyo survived, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I want to see him Taiyo these last hot minute. Alright.
Okay.
Does Taiyo leave a journal behind?
I was thinking of that, like, in the 3 days of, insanity, that Taiyo would be writing down every single thing. That could be interesting.
That'd be really cool.
But are we set to give this a shot?
Yeah, I guess.
Sure.
Alright.
Didn't even get to read the journal. Is it true?
I always thought that was just a skin condition.
Yeah, exactly. He has like very specific rosacea. He really trained it. It's his own force of will. What do you guys think would be the most dramatic?
Going sideways.
Yeah, going sideways. The sun's smiling. Those are babies in the sun, like in Teletubbies, and it's like, it's crying too.
Well, you're trying to get back to his regular
like 23
sleep
years
schedule.
old now.
I think the sun's coming up.